Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following: IU Health Southern Indiana physicians, primary care and specialty care providers now accepting new patients in Bloomington and throughout South Central Indiana. siphysicians.org. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching and learning in Indiana and around the world. More at education.indiana.edu. Main Source Bank, headquartered in Greensburg, Indiana, offering products and services to fit every stage of life. More information at mainsourcebank.com. Main Source, life needs a great bank. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company. Fiber Internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. The number of foster families isn't keeping pace with the demand, and thousands of Hoosier children are in limbo.
We've already gotten calls for 2 more siblings.
We're only allowed to have 3 in this house.
Yeah.
Ahead, what's behind the increase? Monroe County residents are looking at Bloomington's annexation proposal and asking, what's in it for me?
It's not a great benefit to us to be annexed into the city.
A more detailed look at the city's plan, how it could impact residents, and what it could mean for the area's economy. Plus, is it possible? New research that could take the guessing game out of how long it will take to sell or buy a house. These stories, plus the latest news headlines from across the state, right now on Indiana Newsdesk.
Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Earlier this month, we told you about immigration officials detaining a northern Indiana restaurant owner during a routine check-in. That restaurant owner's family says he's now being deported. Roberto Berrystein's family says he came to the U.S. illegally in 1998, but he did eventually obtain documentation to work here. ICE officers arrested him during a routine check-in last month for failing to self-deport more than 16 years ago. Roberto's wife told us 2 weeks ago she was confident her husband wouldn't be deported because of President Trump's statements on immigration.
I truly am 100% for what he's doing. But you know what I do? But he did say, though, that the good people will not be deported. The good people will be checked. And that's what I go by.
An ICE spokesperson says in a statement the agency cannot release information about upcoming removals for security reasons. The city of Bloomington is wrapping up a week of public information meetings to answer residents' questions about the proposed annexation, which would add 15,000 new residents to Bloomington. It would be the city's first annexation in more than a decade and would allow people in the affected areas access to city services in exchange for increased property taxes. But as Barbara Brozier reports, annexation is also used to spur development.
For the past 7 years, Andrew Briggs and his family have called this neighborhood home.
We like the fact that we're outside the city limits.
They live in the Stone Chase community, which sits west of the Bloomington city limits.
We actually built this house knowing that eventually the city's going to try to grab the land and annex it, but hoping that it would be put off as long as possible.
Residents here likely won't be able to put it off much longer. The city of Bloomington wants to annex 7 areas of the county, including Stone Chase. The move will generate additional tax revenue for the city, but increase property taxes for most of those who live in the annexed areas. According to an analysis prepared by the city, Briggs's property taxes could jump by more than $800. Some of that money would help pay for city services like police and fire.
We already have city water and sewer, which we pay dearly for. But it's not a great benefit to us to be annexed into the city.
Mayor John Hamilton says annexing the nearly 10,000 acres is long overdue. It's been more than a decade since the city's expanded.
A lot of people think they live in Bloomington, feel like they live in Bloomington, Their address says Bloomington, but they're not in the city boundaries.
Annexation also provides an incentive for developers. That was one of the motivations for a community southwest of Bloomington to incorporate some county property a few years ago. Washington also sits along the I-69 corridor, and city leaders knew annexing the property surrounding the interstate could bring more jobs to the small town.
If there's a project that comes in, a lot of times they'll designate they want to be within 15, 20 miles of the interstate. If you don't have one of those, then you don't even submit anything for that project. So it basically has opened up a whole nother world as far as what we do, and it gets you in the ball game for some of these projects.
Getting those projects is a lot easier when land is shovel ready, with utilities already in place. Washington has 10 2-acre sites ready for development.
The city of Washington, for instance, has been very proactive. They've got a new 600,000 gallon water tower that's out there and operational. Plans to extend sewer line.
It will be years before the land is fully developed, but it could result in an economic boost for the region. Even so, some Monroe County residents aren't convinced annexation of their neighborhoods is a good idea.
It will not just extend their revenues and their tax base, but they'll also be incorporating a lot of very conservative people. And maybe they can get rid of some of those liberals that run the city and put some common sense back into the way things are done.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Barbara Brozier.
The City Council could consider several annexation ordinances as early as next week, but public hearings must be held before the proposal is adopted. If approved, the annexation would go into effect in 2020. It's being called Indiana's crisis. Thousands of children flooding the foster care system and not enough foster families. Meredith Juliet took a closer look at the rising number of children in need, and she joins us now.
Thanks, Joe. I spent time with a local couple hoping to grow their family. When they began the process of adoption, they came face to face with the challenges of fostering children.
Aaron and Gina Walker aren't the parents of these two little kids. They aren't the aunt or uncle or a friendly neighbor either.
And they're really excited, really happy. Little Aaron will put his arms around me. You're my foster mama. I'm like, yeah.
The Walkers have been fostering a pair of young siblings, a boy and a girl, for the past 4 months.
Well, it's hard. Yeah. Being a foster parent is hard. It's stressful because they're not your children, and then you get attached, you know.
Gina is a stay-at-home foster mom. She plays with the kids day in and day out in their rural home. They like to play trains, build forts, and feed the chickens out back. While the Walkers are hoping to adopt the two kids, the initial goal for all foster kids is to be reunified with their biological parents.
Everyone who starts foster care is encouraged that you need to go into this understanding that the priority is to try to reunify a child with their own family of origin.
And according to Sharon Pierce, over the last decade, reunification has happened more often than not. While the Department of Child Services doesn't track this data, Pierce says about 57% of the time foster children were reunited with their biological parents. But that's not the case anymore. Today, Pierce says juvenile judges are lucky to approve just 30% of children for reunification.
It is really frightening because it speaks to the fact that families in Indiana are in trouble, and not just in Indiana, throughout the country.
Pierce says that trouble starts and ends with the heroin epidemic.
Parents can't escape, it seems, this horrific addiction, and so families are crumbling and falling apart.
When Child Protective Services, or CPS, learns that a parent can no longer care for a child, the child is placed with a family until a judge rules the parents are capable of caring for them again. Sometimes they're with a family for just a few days. Other times it's longer.
This is, I think, their fourth.
No, we're their fifth placement.
Fifth placement, something like that. Yeah. So they've been moved around a lot.
If the child is out of their biological parent's home for 15 out of 22 months, the parental rights are terminated and the child is placed up for adoption. A juvenile judge also has the power to terminate the parental rights if it's in the best interest of the child. For the Walkers, this limbo is hard.
It's kind of an odd thing because you kind of treat them like they're your kids, but they're not. They're under the authority of the state, so you're kind of babysitting, but it's not a babysitting job. There's kind of a weird in-between thing.
Not only is it less likely children will be reunified today, but now more children than ever are flooding the foster care system. In 2012, there were just shy of 13,000 children in need of services here in Indiana. Last year, that number soared to more than 23,000. To put that in perspective, that's enough kids to fill IU's Assembly Hall almost 1.5 times. The number of foster families isn't keeping pace with the need. That's putting pressure on judges and current foster families to bend the rules to find more placements, especially when trying to keep large sibling groups together.
And so that might mean that we have to go back to the State Department of Child Services and say, I know this home is only licensed for 4 children, but we think this parent would be great for, this brother and sister. And so if you'll give us an exception so that they can have 6 children, then we'll place them there.
We've already gotten calls for 2 more siblings.
We're only allowed to have 3 in this house.
Yeah, and it was around the same age, another boy and girl, and then a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
They asked us for a 12-year-old. I was like, oh, in our house?
Pierce says Indiana state leaders need to step up and help. In the past decade, the state has slashed funding for the Department of Child Services Administration, case management, and training.
This is our tsunami. This is our hurricane. And we as a state have to have emergency preparedness and response and problem solving so that it never happens again.
For now, the Walkers are in a wait-and-see situation. They pray every night with the kids that they can eventually go back to their parents. If that can't happen, they'd like to adopt the 2 kids so the siblings can break free of the foster care system and have a steady life. A judge will decide in a couple of months whether to terminate their rights or reunite the kids with the biological parents again. I asked the Walkers if they would foster again if they aren't able to adopt the kids, and they said they'll just have to cross that bridge when they get there.
Thank you very much, Meredith. A new computer model could take some of the anxiety out of trying to sell your home or even buying a new one. The program is designed to predict how long a home will be on the market. As Sarah Whitmire reports, the model is based on the same kind of data that's used to determine how long someone with a severe illness might survive.
It's that time of year when you're going to see a lot more for sale signs popping up in people's front yards. There are a number of factors that influence how long a home is going to be on the market. Things such as the location, the school district, how many other homes are on the market, and of course, the price. Researchers from IUPUI have been scouring home listings online, and they've taken that data to develop a model to predict how long a particular house might be for sale.
We looked at several websites, Zillow, Trulia, Redfin. All of the websites have very nice features in terms of searchability. So if you want to search something, the features are good. But one of the things that they had not provided is that they don't really give you the probability or the time frame that it might take for the house to sell.
And the researchers say the model has valuable information for sellers and for agents. They can use the data to determine what to do to make a house sell faster. And then buyers can also use the same information to determine how quickly they need to submit an offer and for what amount. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Sarah Whitmire.
Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. We'll give you the latest update on residents in East Chicago, Indiana, who are dealing with lead-contaminated soil and water. And we'll check in with the local Meals on Wheels program and tell you how proposed budget cuts could impact their services. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
We are a nation of explorers. We seek new ways of living, of thinking, and of expressing ourselves. We take risks, we learn from experience, and we keep moving forward. That's why we encourage and celebrate the explorer in all of us.
$10,000.
15? 15, you think?
20, 21,000?
600.
20. 18 fine.
24.
It's at least 40.
Look at it.
4,500,000.
650.
20.
650.
This textile would be worth about $500,000.
$500,000?
No way.
I knew it's just a blanket.
Laying on the back of a chair. Well, sir, you have a national treasure.
Wow.
A national treasure. Congratulations.
I can't believe this.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. Now, for headlines, we go over to Barbara Brozier, who has the latest on this week's top stories.
Thanks, Joe. Residents of a lead-contaminated public housing complex in East Chicago are gearing up for a fight about the city's plans to relocate them. About 1/3 of the families still live in the West Calumet Housing Complex A, which sits in a federal Superfund site and is slated for demolition. The city is moving remaining residents to temporary housing next week.
We were just told where we were going. Yeah. And putting me on the south side of Chicago is like putting a deer in the middle of Klein Avenue. You know, you don't belong there. I don't belong in Chicago because I'm from Indiana.
The State Housing and Community Development Authority approved $2 million that'll go towards boarding up windows and doors, securing the property, and demolition once all the residents are removed. An Indiana judge has expunged the armed robbery conviction of Keith Cooper. Cooper spent more than 8 years in prison for a wrongful conviction. Governor Eric Holcomb pardoned Cooper last month. His case gained national attention when then Governor Mike Pence declined to grant a pardon while campaigning for vice president last year. A new analysis estimates the final stretch of I-69 from Martinsville to Indianapolis will cost around $1.5 billion. I-69 will follow the existing path of State Road 37 until it connects with I-465 in Indianapolis. The State Transportation Department is considering 2 different layouts for an interchange along that route. Public input meetings will be hosted next month in Indianapolis and Martinsville. The state still has to secure funding for construction, which INDOT expects to take place from 2020 to 2026. Wind energy is finding success in Indiana. New data from the U.S. Energy Information Administration shows the amount of installed wind energy overtook hydroelectric for the first time at the end of 2016 to lead U.S. renewable energy capacity. An analyst from the American Wind Energy Association says wind brings $5 to $10 million to Hoosiers who lease their land to developers. Well, the newest federal budget dramatically reduces money for grants designed to help low-income students go to college. The budget would eliminate some grants designated for students with exceptional financial need and proposes a $3.9 billion reduction in Pell Grants, the primary federal college grant program.
Destroying the Pell Grant program is one of the worst ideas you could possibly have. So what are we if we're not investing in our children and our grandchildren? What are we if we're not building our state to leave a better, stronger state and country for our kids?
Indiana's Ivy Tech Community College system ranks second in the nation for Pell Grant recipients. Over 30,000 students in the system receive a total of more than $57 million in Pell Grants. A bill that would take state officials out of the process of creating a syringe exchange program is advancing. The bill gives local officials the ability to establish a syringe exchange program without first seeking state approval. The state's health commissioner testified in favor of the bill this week, saying programs are already locally run and that local officials are best positioned to identify community needs and know what their communities will support. Labor unions say a measure that requires publicizing the percentage of teachers who are union members and in some cases informing them that they can get rid of or change that representation is another poke in the eye from Indiana lawmakers. Labor unions are still reeling from the passage of the state's right-to-work law, which curtails union power. A House Education panel approved the measure 7-4 in a party-line vote this week. Now, supporters contend some teachers are unhappy but don't know their rights. Some Meals on Wheels clients are worried the program could go away if President Trump's proposed budget is passed. Trump's plan includes cutting the Community Development Block Grant program. But as Hallie Pilot reports, only a small number of local Meals on Wheels programs rely on that funding.
Kathy Romy is the executive director of the Bloomington Meals on Wheels program. She says the organization runs on private donations, not federal funding. Most Meals on Wheels branches operate this way. According to Meals on Wheels America, 35% of the total funding for the nationwide network is supplied by the Older Americans Act nutrition program. Romy says while that funding could be eliminated, Meals on Wheels won't be.
And they're so afraid that the program's going to be eliminated, and I want to say absolutely no way will our Meals on Wheels program be eliminated, and it won't eliminate other Meals on Wheels programs across the country. But it may make that harder for them to serve as many people as they're doing now.
Jerry May delivers meals to the volunteers who then bring them to clients' homes. Clients receive 2 meals a day, Monday through Friday.
The hot boxes is when they open them up, they're stacked. They got 4 or 5 meals in them.
In a recent client satisfaction survey from the Bloomington branch, 85% of clients said the service has improved their health, and 50% say the person delivering the meal is the only face they see all day.
It's more than just bringing food. It's making that human connection, and also it's a daily check on that person.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Hallie Pilot.
A bill that would phase out the state's current net metering policy, which allows rooftop solar customers to sell excess energy at the retail rate, got its first hearing before a House committee. The House Utilities Committee worked through lunch to hear 6 hours of testimony from 60 individuals. According to the Utilities Commission chair, the bill may get a vote in committee as soon as next week. A new computer model could help those suffering from a rare form of leukemia determine whether treatment will help. About 20,000 people suffer from acute myelogenous leukemia, or AML. The cancer is curable, but treatment can be long and painful. Computer science professor Murat Dundar says the new model could help doctors develop a treatment plan.
The physician actually, he does his own work, and then the computer works in the background. So once the computer processing is over, the physician can invoke those results from the computers and then can double check whether he agrees.
Now, so far the model is just a concept. Implementing it into the daily routine of clinics will not start for the next 3 to 5 years. The Indiana House has approved a bill enabling domestic violence victims to retain their phone numbers when leaving an abuser's phone plan. The bill also allows animals to be placed in protective orders and mandates an abuser cannot harm or hide the pet. The House voted unanimously to approve the measure. It returns now to the Senate to approve changes. Indiana schools could lose about $56 million under President Trump's proposed budget. It slashes funding for teacher training and after-school programs for students in poverty. State Superintendent Jennifer McCormick and other state education leaders expressed concerns this week to federal lawmakers in Washington, D.C. Cuts cannot take effect unless authorized by Congress. The dean of Purdue's Ag Department says Trump's proposed 21% cut to the USDA could have a devastating impact on food production. The world's population is expected to top more than 9 billion people by 2050, and that means food production needs to increase between 25 and 100%. Dean Jay Ackridge says an investment in research and development is critical to meet that need.
The science of the 21st century agriculture will be built on data collected in ways and volumes unprecedented in our history. The word convergence will characterize agricultural technology as biology, data analytics, and automation combined to provide the productivity increases we need.
Ackridge uses the example of corn yields to help people understand the impact research and development can have. In the 1930s, farmers harvested about 30 bushels per acre. Compare that to last year when farmers harvested about 6 times that much, 175 bushels per acre. A comprehensive smoking ban goes into effect next week in Howard County. Kokomo could have been exempt, but the city council signed a resolution allowing the county-wide ban to supersede the local smoking rules. The ban will go into effect within city limits on July 1st.
I felt it was important that we be part of that county-wide ban. So we passed, Kokomo passed it to basically an interlocal agreement to follow the county, or if at some point in the future the state has a more restrictive policy, we will adhere to that.
The ban prohibits smoking at any Kokomo or Howard County establishment or park. It also applies to e-cigarettes. Kokomo proposed a comprehensive ban in 2014, but the council ultimately voted against the proposal after hearing from a number of concerned business owners. And Joe, a lot of other cities throughout the state obviously have similar bans in place.
And the mayor says he expects those against it will adjust their business and still do okay. So
Absolutely.
We'll see. Thank you, Barbara. Evansville's mayor says he's working on a plan to pay for needed repairs to the city's 102-year-old baseball stadium that doesn't include raising taxes. The stadium needs $1.5 million in upgrades, including a new electrical system, lights, and roof. Bosse Field is home to the independent league Evansville Otters. It also was a filming site for the 1992 film, A League of Their Own. And this weekend, the NCAA tournament continues. Last night, Purdue lost to Kansas. Butler University tips off against the University of North Carolina tonight. Last night, the IU women's team won in the WNIT tournament. They play again Sunday against Villanova. That game is in Bloomington. And that's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following: IU Health Southern Indiana physicians, primary care and specialty care providers now accepting new patients in Bloomington and throughout South Central Indiana. siphysicians.org. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching and learning in Indiana and around the world. More at education.indiana.edu. Main Source Bank, headquartered in Greensburg, Indiana, offering products and services to fit every stage of life. More information at mainsourcebank.com. Main Source, life needs a great bank. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company. Fiber Internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members, thank you.